Welcome back to Convos with Cozell. I am your host, James Cozell, your favorite non-guru. As I did say, we are starting our relationship series, and here for episode one, I have none other than my big brother. Talk about it, Mr. Alexander Chisdom Wisdom, Alex Chisley.
What up, y'all? What up? How y'all doing?
There you go. So, for the people that don't know you, my brother, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Man, it's I'm gonna keep it simple. Born and raised in Columbus, moved to Indy with the wife. Went to the greatest school in the world, the
There you
Ohio State
go. Come on.
University.
Yes, sir.
Met some great people there. Shout out to the bros. Um, yeah, man. Left school. Been an artist my whole life. Taught for 14 years, and now I'm doing carpentry, man. So definitely a change of pace, but yeah, man, been
Yes.
married for 10 years with my lovely wife that I met at Ohio State. And yeah, man, that's
Okay.
where I'm at. That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay. So you said you've been married for how long?
10 years.
Okay, so you've been married for 10 and you taught for 14, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so married for 10, how long have y'all been together all together?
We've been together for about 14 years. We've been married for a total of about 10 years.
Okay.
So I guess it kind of goes in, actually lines up with my teaching career.
It does.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's been
like
around the
perfectly, like perfectly.
same
So I know
amount of
you,
time.
huh?
I said the same amount of time. That's
There
cool,
you go.
though.
So you said you went to the shout out, go Bucks,
See?
OHIO. Is that where you met your wife?
Yes, yes, it is. Crazy, not a crazy story, but an interesting one. We were crossing paths on the South Oval, and I was on the phone talking to whoever. I don't even remember who I was talking to, but I saw my wife, Portia, and I just had to talk to her, had to speak, man. So because I was on the phone, I was trying to be slick, so I just gave her a hug, man. I was just like, I just gave her a hug, right? And it's funny, we still talk about it to this day, and she thought that was just a thing that people from Ohio do, is give people hugs and stuff. Like, that's the way she greet, because she didn't know me. She's like, he was a stranger. I just thought it was an Ohio thing. So it kind of worked out, man. So
So
just for me,
you didn't know her at all.
nah, man, I just wanted to make sure I had my presence felt, you know what I'm saying, and wanted to say hello. Sometimes you just gotta, jump out there, do something strange, not strange, but you know what I'm saying,
Look,
take a
look.
risk.
So that that
You know,
that move is really bold. That's a really bold move. And
yeah,
14 years ago, that was probably acceptable. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You think
yeah.
if y'all had to re-meet each other today, you would be able to pull that off, or you'd have had to do something different?
Man, listen, today how stuff is set up, you got social media, you got people walking past people and then going straight to social media to look them up and check their profile and you know what their preference is. It's a little different. It would have been a different beast for sure. I would have tried to holler at her some type of way, but yeah, man, it would definitely would have been different, man, for sure.
For sure. So with you said you were on the phone with someone and you were like, "Hey, I just gotta talk to her." A lot of people now, like you said, with the day and age of social media and everything, don't have that confidence to kind of like approach a woman cold like that, especially if they did, see someone they thought was attractive, and that's either or a man or a woman, right? Um, how'd you do it? Some people ain't got it like that, bro.
Man,
Cause you could have got
I
called a creep. You know what I'm saying? She
yeah,
could have
very
slapped
true.
you. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are fearful of that.
I would like to say I'm charismatic,
For
but
sure.
really, man, I think that it all just goes down to it being like a perfect. It was like divine intervention for me, man. It was a blessing in a sense. So like it just lucked up, and she just so happened to accept that I was giving her a hug, and then we happened to keep running into each other. So it kind of just worked out the way it did. It could have went left, way left. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I could have been called something, a creep or whatever, or you're weird or anything like that. But that's not how it was. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it worked out. It was just like at that moment in time, I did exactly what I needed to do to be recognized by her, and then it kind of flourished from there.
Okay. And so y'all have known each other for 14 years, been married for 10. That is quite a long stretch. I know people who haven't even been in relationships longer than 2 years. You know what I'm saying? What would you say is the main thing that keeps y'all going? Like, why have y'all lasted so long?
Well, first of all, I'm not an expert at all, man. I'm just, just taking it a day at a time and learning, and always being a student of my wife, um, and just ready, ready to put in the work for marriage. I think the key is you don't stop learning, and you have to humble yourself more and more as you get deeper into your marriage, into your relationship, and know that like the stuff that you came in with, how you were raised, trauma from past relationships, uh, what you believe, what your mama told you, what your cousins and aunties and uncles told you. A lot of that stuff is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get to the point where y'all have to learn together and grow together. And there's going to be moments where y'all don't agree, but disagree amicably and love and respect each other. And the power of forgiveness is really strong,
For sure.
and like those are the things that you learn, man. And I think as I'm getting older and more seasoned in our relationship, I'm starting to hold myself more accountable for things. And you have to be really looking into what what I'm saying your spouse needs, and putting those needs before yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that as you continue to grow and learn your your spouse, because it's different every year, their needs change, what you require will change, and then it's just about really growing together. It's kind of like, bro, it's kind of funny. So I love Transformers growing up, and I love Voltron,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
just ate yourself, bro.
I don't care. I don't really care. I mean, I'm an '80s baby. It's
For
cool.
sure. For sure.
So the cool thing about the reason why I brought those two up is because one group operated individually, and then the other group operated together.
For sure.
Okay. So we all know that what I'm saying, Optimus Prime, he died in this movie, right? Great leader, but he died, right? But both sides, they was always coming together, right? It's like it sounds crazy, but the power of working with one another. We're not built to be alone. You know what I'm saying? And we're not built to do stuff by ourselves, and the power of community. And it's like when you get married, regardless of like what naysayers may say that it's bad and it's a death sentence and all this other stuff, your greatness is amplified when you have somebody in your corner, you know, and that support system is amplified. And it's like y'all would challenge each other, because usually 9 out of 10 times, the people that get married, they're not like opposites, but their strengths are different than your strengths.
Right.
And then what happens is they take their strengths and they push you and you grow, and then vice versa. You take your strengths and you push them and they grow. And it's like those are the things that like really make things amazing. And the reason why I said Voltron is because the Lions was dope, but Voltron together was crazy. You know what I'm saying? They was with the blazing sword, like you can't, you know what I'm saying? You wasn't handling the blazing sword. You feel me? But 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 you know what I'm saying? My man Optimus Prime over here, he was
Hey,
tripping, bro. I mean, he was dope, but
Optimus
he
was
took a lot of
cool.
L's. He took a lot of L's individually.
Yeah, he
That's all
did.
I'm saying.
I agree with you.
So
I agree with you. I agree with you. So
so you now go ahead.
it was a couple things that you did say. The first one you said a lot of things that your mom and your auntie, your cousins told you were wrong. So I want you to unpack that first. And then another one you said, when you're together for so long, you're constantly changing and you have to adapt to that. Whoo, you got to unpack that one because that was probably crazy, especially someone who lacks patience.
Yeah. Um, so what I was talking about, like aunties and uncles and what they teach you is like we are products of our environment. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Well, I believe that.
For sure.
Like I said, I'm not a guru, but I believe we are products of our environment. And that goes into like how our parents treated each other, how our brothers and sisters treated each other, how our aunts and uncles talk to each other. And we take all of that stuff, all of that conventional wisdom or knowledge that we learn from them, and then we apply it to our relationships unknowingly. right? We take all that, all those things that was said and done. You might make like, what I'm saying, riffing on your girlfriend. You think it's cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you and your brothers might have Jones, and she might be really be offended because
You said
she wasn't raised
for
like that.
those who don't know what riffing is, you gotta explain that.
To make fun of
Okay,
Jones, dig, whatever the terms are, right? So, but the point I'm making is that like we learn all of these things, and then what happens is you get into a relationship and you have to decipher and kind of unlearn and relearn maybe the correct approach for that specific person, right? Because everybody has levels and things that they handle and can't handle, right? And you have to learn what that is. And then sometimes you got to unpack what you learned
yeah.
and kind of throw that stuff in the trash and be like, hey, this isn't working and this isn't going to be conducive for my relationship. Okay. Um, but the second question was,
How you gotta? You said that we're meeting together so long, you constantly change and you have to adapt to that.
yeah, so I mean, when you first get married, you're happy. Oh my gosh, I got married. You talk about your wedding, and then it's like life happens,
Oh,
right? And mistakes happen, and kids happen, and what happens is what you start doing is you forget what got you to that point of marriage, right? And you'll start looking at maybe flaws. Now, somebody might make a mistake, and you're keeping track, or you might be looking at, I don't know, like you start looking the world. It's like the world is kind of wearing on you. And I mean, as a believer, man, a lot of stuff is going on. But as a believer, I know that as soon as you get married, the devil's always looking to seek and destroy, right? So I believe that like once you get married, he's going to prey on stuff. He's going to attack you in areas that you aren't equipped or you're not even looking for to think that that's a weakness. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that kind of come out, right? And so you have to always, like I said, be willing to learn and change and adapt and admit mistakes. Um, like I said, when you get to a point, it's easy to point fingers,
yeah.
right? At what somebody else isn't doing or you feel like they should be doing. But really, man, the only thing you have control over is yourself and your attitude and how you approach situations. So it's like, what can you do as a person to, what I'm saying, work and make it work because marriage is a work. And I think in our society today, we got cancel culture and we got, what I'm saying, all of these things where it's like we are so quick to walk away from something because there's a challenge in the way that we think or the perception of how things should be. Right. And I think that like sometimes we have to kind of unlearn the things that are taught, just like, bad movies. Like it's not normal for, drama in relationships. But you might have been dating. I was dating in the early 2000s, and I'm boring because I'm not drama filled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, well, that's what society is giving you, but that's not normal, right? But that's a learned behavior. You feel me?
Damn.
So I think, like I said, it's just about growing and like holding yourself more accountable, and then having meaningful conversations and communicating. You know, um, I would say honestly, in my life and in my relationship and just in general, 99% of my mistakes that I made, I was operating out of fear. You know what I mean? So it was like I was scared that something was going to happen, or I was too scared to take this job, or, I was too scared to step out on faith and do this. And because I let faith hinder me, I end up not being successful, or I was the victim. I made myself the victim of whatever was happening, right? Because, excuse me, because of fear itself. So I just think that like the power of just being not being faithful and just kind of walking and not having any fear about anything and just letting the chips fall where they may. I know it's cliche, but just really just kind of putting forth your best effort and just letting everything happen the way it should. You know what I mean?
For sure. So in regards to fear, because you just mentioned that, I do know that obviously marriage. You said it's a job, so it's a responsibility. Also having kids and supporting the family and everything like that. So with fear, there's also there's a bit of healthy fear, right? Because you have to stay
Yeah.
realistic.
I mean, I think fear is healthy sometimes,
Sometimes.
right? Because sometimes it'll push you, right, to do something that you may have not thought you were able to do. Like I can't swim,
Me neither.
right? And it bothers me. It bothers me because my daughter, she's 6, right? She'll be 7 in August,
Mhm.
and she can swim like really well.
Damn.
And I'm like, man, if she can swim, I need to figure that out. So I gotta set a date. I gotta get some stuff together, and I need to get out of my fear of swimming. I can't keep blaming it on the lady at the Y when I told her I wasn't ready and she let me go. Like I wasn't ready. I was upset that she let me go, but I can't let that be the reason why I don't know how to swim. Because I like water. You know what I'm saying? It's very relaxing, and depending on where you go in the country,
True.
and there's some beautiful water out there. Now there's some dirty water out there too,
Fact.
but you know what I mean. So I think that sometimes fear can definitely be a motivator, and it can hinder you sometimes if you let it. Right. So you just gotta power through, man.
Okay. So I know me and you've had conversations before where you said that you was like, yo, my life didn't like I didn't start living life until I got married. You know what I'm saying? And I know getting married is life changing. But out of all the married people that I've had conversations with, you're probably the first person that ever said that to me. You know what I'm
Um,
saying? I just want you to unpack that. What does that truly mean?
so um, I say all the time, and I tell my wife this: I didn't start living until I met her,
Mm, that's
because,
beautiful. That's a Hallmark card right there.
and I believe that like sometimes we don't see our own potential,
Mhm.
and sometimes our expectations is low. Like my biggest vice was I didn't plan well growing up. I got to high school, and I was like, man, I got to get to college because everybody's like, you got to go to college,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, I'm going.
Right.
And that was as far as it went. Period. That was in. I was just like, bro, I'm gonna get to college. So I got to college, man, and I didn't know what to do. So even though I got my art major and what I mean, graduated, I was like, I guess I gotta get a job. You feel me?
Mhm.
So I went into getting a job and so on and so forth. So I think that like my wife definitely helped me enhance me. Like this is what I say. People always say stuff like, I wasn't whole when I met that person.
Mhm.
We are whole, right? Well, you should be whole.
Yeah.
What I mean? You're gonna have baggage and you're gonna have things that happen to you, and your approach might be a little bit different, but in a sense, we're all whole, right? But together, that power of love and enhancement, and like somebody really like refining you as a person and helping you grow in areas you didn't even see like or need to grow. You know what I mean? Like that is the thing like that really helped me. Like if I didn't go to college and I didn't meet my wife, I probably would have still been chilling on the east side of Columbus.
Damn.
I mean, 100, keeping it real. Like
For
we
sure.
we got engaged and she got into Teach for America, and I was like, shoot, I'm about to go. I'm going to St. Louis. Why not? You know what I mean? And like I had to start over there, So it's like I think that everything happens for a reason, and I believe that, like I said, and I'm still growing today. Like I'm thinking about the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how I can improve and be better husband and a better wife. I mean, a better husband and a better father, not a wife, bro. A better husband and a better father and a better person,
Yeah.
and more spiritually in tune with myself, and health wise, working on that stuff too. And I just want to be better, bro, because all it's going to do is enhance my marriage. We're going to keep doing great things, have great experiences, do great things for our kids. But you can't do that if you're not trying to grow
True.
and you're not trying to push yourself. You know what I mean? And I think that like in marriage, I think what happens is some people get pushed and they don't like the push, and then they walk away
Mm.
because people like to stay where they're at. Nobody likes to challenge. No, if you've been growing up for say 28 years and you get married and you're 30, you gotta people would say sacrifice your 28 years prior, but you don't. You just have to like um evolve, you know, and be like, yeah, man, I do need to work on that.
Mm,
But sometimes I think that we get in these little bubbles where it's like, nah, bro, that's well, you with me now. I mean, I'm here. You picked me, type thing, right?
yeah,
Or you chose me. It's like, no, bro, like we all got some working to do. We've all met them employees. We all got them coworkers or them bosses. And you're like, bro, wow, they forgot they were human.
yeah.
Or wow, like they really be trying to get people fired. Or man, you always trying to outshine somebody. And they don't see it, right? But everybody else does. And that's kind of what marriage is. It's like the mirror is you're looking at a mirror looking back at you, right?
Hmm.
But your spouse is really looking at that mirror, right? So they
Yeah.
can see all the
Studying
stuff.
it too, yeah.
They can see it like, hey, that fix that, please. Yeah, man.
So why do you think so I get that was a great point, you know what I'm saying? So is that why you think most people nowadays don't want to get married?
I think it's just jargon. It's just fear. It's perception of what maybe they see on TV, or maybe they just chose the wrong person for the wrong reason.
Damn. What would it
You know?
what so okay. Serendipitous was how you ended up with Portia. And it's like I think that story is kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people run into the wrong people all the time. It's like, how did you know? Because that could have been the wrong person.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, man. Um, I just love being around her. Like it wasn't malice or intent. I wasn't trying to get anything out of it. I enjoyed her company. I loved her character. I mean, she's gorgeous too, but like I really enjoyed her as a person, and we were friends, first. So it was like one of them things where it's like, would you want to be with somebody who doesn't? Would you want to be with somebody else who doesn't have all these characteristics? You know,
Yeah.
like good people come around a dime a dozen, man, and then great people are those ones that stay in your corner. You know, through thick and thin and bad times, and you know what I'm saying, accountability and love, but it's all done out of love and respect. And you just got to be able to see that and find that when it happens. And I just felt like, she was a great person. So I didn't want to, let that go.
You'd have been a
You know what
foolish
I mean?
man.
So,
She is awesome, bro. She's awesome. You'd have been a foolish man.
yeah. And I think that like at a point when we were just talking and then we went to dating, it was just like, bro, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to not date anybody else. I want to date her. I want to be with her. Because, I mean, you date to find out who you want to marry.
Yeah.
Right. So in theory, you're making checks and balances and be like, I like this, I don't like this, I like that, I don't like that. You know what I mean?
How many
And
days did it take where you was like, you know what? You ain't going nowhere.
man, I got I think I got engaged to her a year and a half in, bro, of us
Nice.
dating. It don't take long, man. You know once you know.
That's what they
And
say.
and 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 the people that say that they don't, then they don't want to be with them. Like, I mean, that's how I feel. Again, no disrespect to anybody who's experienced
Nah,
it.
call them out, bro. Call them out. Because a lot of people do be wasting people's time, though.
And I believe that like you should know once you know, and if you don't, then let it go. Bars, whatever you want to say.
Okay.
It should be something that you definitely have an idea at least.
Mhm. So,
Now the other thing is intentionality too.
okay.
That conversation has to happen, right? Like, oh, I'm courting you, or we're just dating, oh, I'm just trying to kick it. I don't know what this is, but you here and I'm here. Whatever your thing is, it should at least be stated and said, so there's no hard feelings. But somebody's gonna get hurt
For sure.
eventually.
100%.
You know, because somebody's gonna be way more into it, or y'all both into each other. Just kind of you. I mean, you know, right? Well, I think you do.
I hope I do. Shit, I done had enough
Yeah.
conversations. So you went to school for teaching, right?
Yep.
Okay, and this was undergrad.
No. Okay. So no,
Okay.
I went to school to just do art, bro. I just love to draw. I still draw to this day,
Mhm.
right? I think that my dream jobs are all dream jobs is to become an animator and produce some shorts,
For sure.
which I'm working on some side projects. But yeah, man, I just knew how to draw, right? So when I got out, I was a manager at a grocery store, bro. That
This
didn't
was
work
after
out.
undergrad.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I was like, then got I got fired from that. You know what I mean?
Oh no, that's not funny. That's not funny.
That's what it was. I mean, I was immature, but then at the same time, I felt like it was a little racist stuff, and I'm not blaming them.
Yeah.
I probably made a lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? And then I went into subbing, and I'm like, man, if I can sub and then teach art, man, this would be perfect.
Yeah.
So then I was on this grind to get my master's degree in art education. So I did that, and then I started teaching for 14 years, and it wasn't what I thought it was, bro. It wasn't what I wanted it to be. So just last year, I made a huge pivot,
Mhm.
and I just wanted to be creative and work with my hands. So I'm in this carpentry apprenticeship, and
Nice.
the goal is just to learn some skills, develop, be able to fix and flip houses. I'm not a realtor, but like my own house, really,
Yeah, bro.
not anybody else's.
Some
But
manly skills.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll build tables and create interiors for people, and I have a goal to make altars for people's weddings,
Mm,
um, and then like they can always remember why they got married because marriage is so important to me. So,
that's
but
dope.
nah, man, I just want to do creative stuff and work with my hands and create. Be a man of my own time and really spend time with my children and my wife. So that was the other reason for the pivot. And I was just unhealthy, man.
Mm.
Sitting at a desk, you know what I'm saying, working extra hours, not getting paid for it. So I think that it was a blessing in disguise. Being down here, moving, being by myself, reflecting, working out, being healthy, reading my word, all those things helped me, kind of gave me a rebirth in a sense.
Yeah.
And helped me put some things in perspective.
So undergrad was art. That's 4 years, right?
Yep.
And then your master's program, you said it was teaching,
Art education.
art
I got a
education.
master's in art
And
education.
how
Yep.
many years was that?
It was two and a half,
So two
two
and a half.
years.
So that's 6 years plus the 14 years of teaching.
Yeah, man. I put in a lot of time.
Oh no, I'm going somewhere with it. So 20 years, right? And you was
Yeah.
like, man, you know what? This is some bullshit. How was that conversation to pivot into a completely different career? You know what I'm saying? Because to some people they might be like, nah, bro, you've been doing it, just stick with it. But you like, nah, I would die early from all this stress.
So, a couple of things. When you got a bad job, you take it home, man,
Yes, you do.
and it's toxic. It seeps into your household. It seeps into you, and you know what I'm saying. You're growling and stuff. You're grunting. You don't even know why you're mad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like it's on you. You feel me? And my wife saw that,
Mhm.
and she saw how it was wearing on me. So she started mentioning like, hey, maybe you should do something else. Maybe you should, you know what I mean, walk away. But it was so logical at the point in time.
That's what's
Hey
up.
man, I'm I'm getting a salary, I got health care, I get step pays every year, and then you start digging into the nooks and crannies. It wasn't just teaching art. It was so much more stuff that, you know what I'm saying? To be quite honest, and being, black male art teacher, it was some difficult things I had to deal with.
Mhm.
So I think that like I pivoted when I was supposed to. She had got another job opportunity down here, and I was like, man, I'm going to start over. So I made the jump and just did it. I ain't gonna lie, I tried to teach down here though,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't give me no love, man. I was like, bro, I
They
can't get
wouldn't
an
give you no
interview.
with 20 years, they wouldn't give you no love.
No love. You hear me? But so
What?
I mean, it was confirmation that I needed to walk away,
Oh,
and
100%.
that's okay. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay. So before we head out, I do have this because you're my first guest. I think this would be kind of cool. Uh, you're gonna pick a number between 1 and 7, right? And I have a bunch of random questions, and whatever number you give me, I'm gonna ask you that question, right? And I
Okay,
want you
all
to,
right,
and you can go as deep as you want to for whatever answer. You know what I'm saying? But I do want you to be authentic, and there got to be some type of message behind it. So don't just be talking just to talk.
okay. So I gotta add a message to
Yeah.
whatever I say.
Yes.
All right,
All
all
right.
right. I'm gonna
So
try to do this.
pick a
All right,
number
now
between 1 and 7. Oh, go ahead. What you about to say?
because my because my birthday's in July, man, I'm gonna go with 7.
You going with 7?
Now, hopefully this ain't the trash question.
Hold on. Okay.
Is this
All right. When is
all right?
this is number 7? This is number 7. Okay, Mr. July.
All right, do number one. Do number
No,
one.
no, 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 no. Okay, number 7. When is the last time you cried?
Oh man, really? Last time I like boo-hoo,
Like it really got to you, you know? If
um
it's been that long, you need to cry some more. You know, you need to do more crying. Especially,
I do. There's been some moments where I've been frustrated, but I think the last boo-hoo cry, honestly, was when my father passed away about 5 years ago. And it wasn't during the funeral or anything like that. He had passed away from lung cancer, and we lost him kind of quick. So it was like they were like, "Hey, you got cancer," and then he passed away. So that was on December 5th.
mhm.
He passed away December 20th.
Damn.
Oh yeah, you got stage 4, and then it was like that. Boom. You know what I mean? And then there was a lot of stress that came along with it. He didn't have the right health insurance.
Like,
So we had to put money together to get everything taken care of, and I feel like I took a lot of that burden on. And man, I spent a lot of his last days with him though, and even when he was in pain, he was very strong. And that's hard to see, man, because like usually, if your father's in your life, he's a superhero. And my dad wasn't perfect. He wasn't a perfect man at all, but he was a good man. You know, he loved people. He always was trying to look out. He fed the neighborhood. I can't tell you how many cookouts he did and
that's what's up.
fed the neighborhood. And he was dealing with his own problems. He dealt with depression and manic depression, and you know what I'm saying. He tried to kill himself a couple times early on when he was younger. I mean, when I was a kid. But you know what I'm saying, he got on the right medication, he got the right therapy, and we started communicating more, and that was like my best friend. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard seeing him fade away. And if people don't know, like I don't know how people don't, believe in God, because that stuff I see, man, death is different
Mhm.
when it's somebody close to you. You feel me? So yeah, man, I got the stuff ready for the funeral, and really honestly what happened was it was after the fact. He had passed away, and I think I just woke up one night just crying hysterically, pretty much like I had a dream, and it just felt too real, but it was definitely the reality. And I think that was the last time I like boo-hoo, boo-hoo. um, and I do need to cry more, but I mean, how do you tell yourself like, hey, it's time to let them tears out,
Yeah,
dog? You know what
bro.
I'm saying?
It's getting a dark
You
room.
know what I mean? Like, because it's like I think that your emotions are tied to things, right? Um, and sometimes if you're the person that has to be strong, you don't have time to cry. If you're being strong for everybody else, they can't see you crying, right? That's how my dad was. I mean, he cried when he had his hip replaced, bro. He had a hip replacement surgery, and he was crying because he was free of pain. That was the last time I seen my dad cry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that like, and then I think it's a trope for African American males. Like we have to be strong. We can't smile. A lot of my pictures I wasn't smiling, not because I didn't have teeth, it's because I ain't want nobody to try me. Because I had to get this
That's
work.
crazy. That's
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to put on that facade, like, bro, I'm not smiling for you. For what? That's it. No, I'm not smiling. You know.
Damn.
Now, if we cool, I might laugh, I might chuckle, but again, I think it was a facade we had to put on. There was something that we had to do. It's just a part of the culture. Like, you got to be tough, walk with your head up, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. So yeah, man, I miss my pops though, and I'm gonna tell people, man, if somebody needs to hear it, you never get over somebody passing away.
Mm.
It's a new normal. You know what I mean? Like, I reach out to people all the time when their parents pass away, and I tell them like something that helped me is I used to write a letter to him every day, and then I would share that letter to my wife that I wrote to him, or I tell a story about him to my wife to help me remember him. And now I just try to make sure I celebrate him at least once or twice a year. You know what I'm saying? Birthdays, Father's Day, or something. I try to make sure that I'm cognizant of saying something because he was a huge impact on my life, even though he wasn't a perfect man. I mean, he didn't teach me how to play basketball or baseball or none of that stuff because he was dealing with his own stuff. He dealt with alcoholism, he dealt with all these things, but he never took it out on us.
Mhm.
So for that, I have a lot of respect for him. You know what I'm saying? And then when he got to the point where he understood what was going on, he communicated with transparency what was going on with him,
Mhm.
how his father was abusive, and how he seen his best friend step on a landmine when he was in the service, and
Oh
all
man.
these things. And it's like all, and that's when you learn that like trauma is so big, but we don't talk about it. Mental health is so huge, and we don't address it. You know what I'm saying? And it's things like that. It's like we gotta do better in those areas. And yeah, man, like so I take mental health seriously. I think everybody should. And I think that like we all got problems, bro. And that's the other thing about marriage. Like your problems is on the table
Yeah.
because they with you all the time. They gonna see it. You can't hide. You can't be fake for 10 years. You can be fake for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
You can put on a whole facade for a year and a half. You might even be able to lie and have a double life. But at some point in time, the truth always comes to light. And it always comes to light because mentally, in here, you can't hold on to stuff that you lying about all the
Mhm.
time. It's impossible.
Damn. Damn, y'all heard it here. That's Chisdom right there, man. Hey, tell the people where they can find you, brother.
I'm on Instagram, man. ALC Archive. I know people always misspell it and mispronounce it. You can look up my name. Got some artwork on there. Other stuff is coming soon. I'm gonna dib and dab into some more art related stuff. Art of life is when I'm gonna start calling some things. So y'all stay tuned on that stuff if you're interested in artistic related stuff.
And you said it's
But I appreciate
AL Archive?
ALC
There you go.
ART Chive CHIVE. People always miss something about allocarditive. I'd be like, bro, do I need to like have diction next to it or something? It's a bad name, but it makes sense to me, y'all. Because I'm so, I guess not creative, but I'm different a little bit, a lot of it.
Nah, I
But it's
appreciate you,
good.
brother, man. I appreciate for the.
I appreciate you,
I
dude.
appreciate you being the first guest. I appreciate you dropping. I appreciate you being transparent, man. Because I know sometimes it's kind of hard to open up like that, especially on camera. Because I am definitely posting this. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good, man.
But nah, thank you so much, brother.